Hi, folks. I just want to do a bit of a follow-up to a video I made of Renata Fast doing the kicking motion towards Hannah Bilka in a 2022 Women's World Hockey Championship game between Canada and the United States. I've had some people saying that Fast isn't that type of player, that she would never do that. She's physical but not malicious, that sort of thing. And I want to make it clear, the video is not in any way making accusations or questioning her character or the type of player or person she is. It's simply looking at an incident, taking away his name and the team they played for, the jersey, what have you, and just looking at the incident as whether or not it was close to a hockey play. And a player has a hockey purpose in that situation. There was a board battle, two players got tangled up. Fast got a little aggressive, uh, face mask grabbing and threw the player down. And as she was skating by, she has a hockey purpose to go from one battle to another and not be interfering in any way with the opponent. In this case, the opponent was already laying down on the ice, and really her job is just to go to the next battle and follow the play up and try and get herself back into a hockey situation. And instead, she goes out of her way to turn towards her opponent and stick her leg out and flick it towards a player who's vulnerable down on the ice and no longer a threat. So it has nothing to do with who it is or what type of person she is or what she was even trying to do. I'm not even trying to get inside her head. To me, intent isn't trying to get inside a person's mind and figure out what they were actually thinking and feeling at the time. If you do that, there's way too much of a question mark there. You can't do that accurately. For me, intent is what do a player's actions say they look like they're trying to do versus what they should be doing. And in this case, what she should be doing is skating past that player, not engaging at all. That's the ideal world. I know hockey, there's some gray area there. I understand there's some battling components and emotion and even a bit of gamesmanship. I get that. As a fan, I'm all for that. As a disciplinary committee, I can't be getting involved in that and allowing that to be my excuse for letting it happen. A player is trying to make should be trying to make a hockey play. In this case, the actions the player took were way too far removed from her hockey purpose to deem it a hockey play, to have it be acceptable in terms of what you're trying to keep out of the game and what you'd like to see in. Nobody wants to see anybody skate flying around a skate blade dangerously towards an opponent's wrist, for example, like it is here, or towards their head. It doesn't really matter who it is, what team they play for, what the situation of the game is. Can't be having that. That's all I'm trying to say. The reality is, as fans, we try very hard to let players off the hook for dangerous play, and we give them way too much benefit of the doubt. And I'm not talking about Fast specifically. I'm talking about all players. In general, we like to say things like, well, if they wanted to hurt them, they would have. Or if he'd wanted to hit him in the head, he would have. Or in this case, someone actually said if she had wanted to kick her, she would have made contact. Uh, to me, that's just letting the player off the hook for doing something excessively dangerous or excessively beyond the scope of what you'd expect to see in a reasonable hockey play. And we also do that as fans in the reverse way. We say, well, there was nothing they could do when a dangerous thing does happen and they actually make head contact. Well, you can't expect a player to stop on a dime and have that much control. What were they supposed to do? They were already committed to the hit. So in a lot of cases, we try and let them off the hook by saying there was nothing they could do. The result was out of their hands. They can't control that, and they can't stop on a dime and control their actions at the last second like that. And yet, when we turn around to look at this kicking incident, we say, well, she was obviously in full control. That's the reason she didn't get her. Um, you can't have it both ways. We always try and have it both ways. In my world, we would just try and eliminate all the dangerous play altogether. I know it's ideal. I know it's ambitious. You're never going to get it all. But to me, it's pretty easy to eliminate someone from doing a kicking motion directed towards an opponent who's already out of the play. And that's the whole point of the video, just trying to keep players safe and trying to allow those board battles that we love to see that led up to that it just got out of hand. When it gets out of hand, you have to stop it so that it stays at the board battles and the nice physicality, good, clean contact that we love to see. And if we called more of incidents like these and we went harder on them and we went harder on repeat offenders, then we would actually see more of that physicality that we actually want to see, the good, clean, fun kind. but we're never going to get there if we can't be consistent, if we can't detach ourselves from who the player is and what jersey they wear, and we consistently across the board punish players for this type of action and consistently reward players when they do the right thing. We can't let players off the hook sometimes and not others, or else players aren't going to understand the rules. They're not going to understand what is and isn't acceptable. It can't change from game to game. It can't change from period to period. It can't change from preseason to regular season to playoffs. It has to be consistent across the board. And to me, this is one of those super easy ones. Kicking, match penalty, suspension, done. Get it out of the game.